It is safe to say that Treehouse of Horror 33 was one of the most buzzworthy episodes of The Simpsons in years, and for good reason. This truly felt like the classic Simpsons Halloween specials of the 90s, with a really fun blend of stories. This episode wasn't necessarily as bloodthirsty as previous installments, but that doesn't mean the death count wasn't enormous. Simpsons World, the final segment in particular, had a massive amount of death. But I guess, are they really dying if they're just robot replicants? Let's run with it. So let's go through the death count of Treehouse of Horror 33. Remember guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on future videos here on 4-Finger Discount. Okay, so the first segment, the Pookadook, barely had any death. In fact, there was just one, the Pookadook itself, which was vacuumed up by Marge. The lack of death though certainly didn't take away from the story. This was truly scary at times, and had a real emotional beat that felt like The Simpsons that we all know and love. Next up was the highly anticipated Death Tome, a parody of Death Note. This definitely lived up to expectations, and what was most impressive was that it was animated by those from the original Death Note anime. This segment was far more brutal, with several deaths including Jailbird, Mr. Burns, and the board of directors of his Globo Warm business, which there are apparently 24, although we only see the death of 9, including a guy falling down a manhole, a skydiving accident, I want to say explosive cigar, getting chopped to pieces in an aeroplane propeller, an alligator in the toilet, cooked in a tanning bed, a lion in the toilet, drowning in a chocolate fountain, and a teacher dying of embarrassment. And finally, just when we think Lisa is about to kill Alberto, it turns out that she kills the Shinigami Steve Johnson, turning her into a Shinigami herself. So after 2 segments, the death count is at 28. And then we move along to the final segment, Simpsons World, a parody of Westworld. This one had a plethora of death, if you include replicant deaths as actual deaths. Now in this segment, I'm not going to include broken replicants, I'm only going to include replicants or people that we actually see getting killed. The first deaths in this segment are 2 of the workers in this theme park who were accidentally murdered by Homer. Next up, we see the demise of 5 grandpa replicants who are crushed as a result of Homer hitting that button. Now the next deaths are 2 that hit home because they are of 2 Aussie superfans who are trying to force Homer into that iconic hedge, but as a result they get pushed in and are killed themselves. So far in this segment, the death count stands at 9. Moving along now, this is where all of the proper death happens. So basically, there are like 1 million Ralphs in this theme park, and they are all trying to kill the Simpson family. Now, I'm not going to lie, I tried my best to count how many Ralphs get destroyed in the following minute or so. It's really hard, as you're about to see, but I did my best, like I said. So I may be out by a couple here and there, but I really sat there and studied the screen, and I really tried to make sure I included as many Ralph deaths as possible. So first up here, we have 3 Ralph replicants being killed by Lisa as a result of using Homer's bat from Whacking Day. Next, we get 6 Ralphs being crushed by the Stone of Triumph from the Stonecutters. Then Lisa's angel is pushed over and it crushes a further 6 Ralphs. The next one here you'll see is a little bit tricky. I had to freeze frame this and count all the Ralphs that I could see in shot who are about to be destroyed by the sound wave of Bart saying testing. I counted 44. I may be out by 1 and 2. You tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong here, but like I said, I tried my best and I counted 44. Now, this next scene was a lot of fun with all of the Ralph replicants approaching the family. We get Bart taking out one with his slingshot. We get Lisa using Homer's makeup gun with the setting on whore, taking out another Ralph. Then Homer gets the t-shirt gun from Alone Again Natural Diddly and takes out not only 4 more Ralphs, but also Maude Flanders herself, which I thought was a great callback. Then we get Marge arriving in the canyon area, and this is where it got really difficult, guys, to try and count all the Ralphs. I did my best, but I feel like I'm going to be out here and there, but I freeze framed it, and I went frame by frame. I spent a good like half an hour on this last bit, trying to get it exact as I can. I'm going to be off. I know that. You can hang it on me in the comments, but I've tried my best. But I feel like in this scene here, when Marge first approaches in the Canyonero, she takes out 16 Ralphs. Then we get the doozy. So basically you'll see here this wide shot of all the Ralph replicants. This was the most difficult part of this death count. So you'll see first of all that there's 31. I count 31 Ralphs already on the ground. So I'm going to assume that they are Ralphs that we've already seen being killed. So I'm going to take them out of the grand total after this next bit where you'll see Marge here drive straight through the crowd as we said there, and she's taken out all these Ralph replicants. I counted that there are now 138 Ralphs lying on the ground. That's right, 138 Ralphs I feel are lying on the ground right now. Take off the 31, that leaves with 107 Ralphs further taken out in this scene by Marge and the Canyonero. So when you add all these deaths together, that leaves our counter currently at 226. Then Marge continues to drive through the crowd, taking out more Ralphs. I counted a further 32 Ralphs being taken out here. It was pretty difficult, but I settled on 32. So if you add 32 to our total, that takes us to 258 deaths so far in Treehouse of Horror 33. Now, there's only a couple more deaths remaining, and they aren't replicants. They are actual guests of the park. They're actual real-life people. So Marge is driving towards the entrance. She takes out this guest here, then drives through the Simpsonizer, takes out a further guest, and as she's heading towards the Matt Groening statue, a further man goes over the dashboard. And that is the final death in Treehouse of Horror 33 that I could count. So that leaves us with a grand total of, by my account, 261 deaths in Treehouse of Horror 33. Of course, most of them being just Ralph replicants being taken out in the final 30 seconds of Simpsons World. Alright guys, so that is my death count for Treehouse of Horror 33. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, best way to support the channel and ensure you do not miss out on future videos. And also check out our Simpsons podcast. We've been doing it for 7 years. We've reviewed over 350 episodes of The Simpsons. I guarantee you will enjoy that as well. But thank you once again for checking out this video. I do appreciate the support. Hope you all had a happy Halloween, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.